So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus. So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
Elon Musk's struggle with woke culture took a surprising personal twist, leading many to ask what actually occurred between him and his son. It was a moment Musk did not anticipate. The billionaire, recognized for transforming technology and space exploration, unexpectedly found himself engaged in a fight he never intended to be part of, a fight for his own child.
I like your laugh. That's a laugh of an honest man.
Musk's eldest son, Xavier, whom he had once held closely, had now become unfamiliar to him. They called it dead naming for a reason, Musk stated, in an uncommon, heartfelt acknowledgement.
Gender-affirming care, which is child mutilation and sterilization.
Yeah.
It happened to one of my older boys. I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide if, it wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. And so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus. So I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that. And we're making some progress. It's incredibly evil, and I agree with you that the people that have been promoting this should go to prison.
My son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus. The planet was stunned. But what led to this situation? And what makes Musk think that woke culture took his son? Xavier, who previously looked up to his father, severed all connections, even formally altering the name that Musk had affectionately bestowed. For Musk, it was not solely personal. It served as a wake-up call. He wasn't merely battling for his son. He was confronting a broader struggle against a belief system he felt was destroying families. The tipping point wasn't solely the change of name. It was more profound. Musk has claimed that he was misled into consenting to puberty blockers for Xavier during his transition. They told me it was a life-saving treatment, he disclosed. They said it was either this or he might not make it. I was manipulated, lied to, and I lost my son. Musk's anger erupted when he discovered that influential entities were affecting choices regarding his child's body without his complete awareness. However, the more he examined, the gloomier it became. It wasn't merely a suggestion from a doctor. It was a comprehensive network of schools, therapists, and advocacy organizations, all promoting the same message. A carefully coordinated system that persuaded parents they had no option. That opposing would result in losing their child permanently. Musk eventually acknowledged that he signed the documents while facing significant pressure, convinced he was making the right decision. However, as he delved deeper, he uncovered unsettling trends and accounts of parents who raised alarms and were ignored, along with medical practitioners who doubted the procedure and were dismissed. He was not by himself. He was merely among the handful who had the ability to voice their opinions. How many other parents were tricked like I was?
Hey, it is Vivian Jenna Wilson. I'm just going to come on here and say that I'm doing well and doing fine, actually. I'm formulating a response and whatnot. It's being worked on. It's being worked on. Just hold your goddamn horses for 5 more seconds, okay? I promise it's getting worked on.
Musk raised questions. How many families are being torn apart right now? Was he really the sole parent ensnared in this situation? Or was this a common problem lurking in plain view? Musk has openly talked about the term woke mind virus, labeling it as a harmful belief system that emphasizes identity politics at the expense of logic, reason, and familial connections. For him, it's not merely a cultural change. It's a contagion permeating institutions, media, and even families, turning individuals against those who brought them up. He describes, "It started as something good social awareness, but now it's gone too far. It punishes free speech, cancels dissent, and destroys families. But what is he referring to by that? Musk contends that the woke mind virus functions as a psychological tool aimed at fostering division, inciting outrage, and suppressing anyone who opposes it. He cautions that it's no longer about equality or advancement. It's all about control. Musk claims that this ideology influences individuals to think they are righteous by suppressing dissent. It reshapes language, compels uniformity, and transforms previously intimate connections into arenas of ideological conflict. His family itself became a victim of this conflict. "I lost my son to this," he stated, his voice filled with anger and grief. At its core, Musk views this not merely as a matter of political correctness. He views it as a core danger to advancement, freedom of expression, and the foundation of Western society. But was his campaign against woke culture solely ideological, or was it profoundly personal? In 2022, Musk's offspring officially changed their name to Vivian Jenna Wilson, entirely severing connections with him. Musk asserts that the decision wasn't made in isolation. Rather, it was shaped by ideological pressures that portrayed him as an adversary. "My own child rejects me not because I was a bad father, but because a movement told them I was the enemy." For Musk, this wasn't merely a personal treachery, it represented a greater conflict. The father, who devoted years to shaping the future of mankind, now struggled to maintain his connection with his own offspring. He wasn't merely losing a child, he was losing a crucial aspect of his legacy. And even worse, the globe celebrated it. The media, activists, and even so-called intellectuals portrayed this as a win for progress. However, Musk did not observe advancements. He perceived manipulation. He observed that institutions, originally designed to safeguard children, are now instructing them to eliminate their families.
Why are you willing to make this an issue, do you think?
It happened to one of my older boys, where I was essentially tricked into signing documents for one of my older boys, Xavier. This was before I had really any understanding of what was going on. There was a lot of confusion. I was told, Xavier might commit suicide.
That was a lie right from the outset. If there's a higher suicide rate, the reason is because of the underlying depression and anxiety and not because of the gender dysphoria.
It wasn't explained to me that puberty blockers are actually just sterilization drugs. And so I lost my son, essentially. They call it dead naming for a reason.
Yeah,
All right, so the reason it's called dead naming is because your son is dead. So my son Xavier is dead, killed by the woke mind virus.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
I can't imagine what that would be like. It's not pretty. And lots of demolished kids. That's a good reason to be the final straw.
I vowed to destroy the woke mind virus after that.
He observed a society that penalized dissent with complete banishment. As soon as he voiced his opinion, the reaction was instant. Anti-trans, prejudiced person, full of hatred. The labels arrived quickly and unyieldingly, trying to humiliate him into quietude. However, Musk avoids silence. If he had been defeated in the struggle for his child, he was resolved not to lose the overall conflict. He promised to resist, not only for himself, but for all parents who had been informed they no longer had a voice in their child's life. Elon Musk battled obsolete space exploration, ineffective vehicles, and sluggish AI progress. However, he now faced a fresh adversary, and he wasn't giving up. Initially, he acquired Twitter, renaming it X to revive free speech and confront ideological censorship. Musk viewed it as beyond merely a commercial strategy. It represented a clash over the future of communication. He restored suspended accounts, revealed internal discussions via the Twitter files, and openly challenged those seeking to dominate the narrative. "Sunlight is the best disinfectant," he proclaimed, highlighting what he termed the hypocrisy of big tech. Secondly, he moved SpaceX's headquarters to Texas to escape California's restrictive laws, which he believes curtail parental rights. He condemned states implementing policies that enabled minors to make significant choices without the consent of their parents. "The government has no business raising our children," he declared, firmly opposing what he viewed as excessive state intervention. Musk did not engage in this struggle by himself. He collaborated with prominent personalities Jordan Peterson and Bill Maher to openly challenge woke ideologies that suppress discussion and promote rigid convictions. He utilized all platforms at his disposal: social media, interviews, and even memes to ridicule and deconstruct what he perceived as the radicalization of contemporary culture. His message was unmistakable. His words were clear. This isn't just about me. This is about the future. We are raising a generation that cannot handle opposition, and that is dangerous. Is Musk genuinely championing free speech, or is he exacerbating division? Musk's battle against woke culture ignited both indignation and praise. It was not merely about free expression, it concerned the essential basis of contemporary discussion. Critics charged him with exploiting his influence to weaken marginalized communities, asserting that his rhetoric empowered hate groups and strengthened systemic prejudices. Social activists cautioned that his position on gender identity and cancel culture overlooked the genuine challenges encountered by marginalized communities. To them, Musk wasn't a defender of free expression. He was a catalyst for division. However, Musk's backers perceived something completely distinct. To them, he wasn't merely another billionaire causing a stir. He was a solitary fighter, opposing an ideology they felt had gone haywire. They contended that a culture that once championed fairness had transformed into a tool for suppressing dissent, silencing anyone bold enough to question its constantly changing rules. The question persists: where shall we establish the limit? When does inclusivity turn into censorship? Are we genuinely encouraging open dialogue, or are we imposing ideological uniformity in the name of advancement? Musk's struggle compelled society to face an unsettling truth. Is it possible to achieve genuine equality if only one perspective in the discussion is permitted to voice its opinion?
You call it the woke mind. Yes, it's the name you gave to that.
woke mind
that
virus.
illness. Woke mind illness. What's that virus?
Yeah, so
It's coming to Europe. I have to advise you.
yes, well, this is not something you should import from America. Please don't import the woke mind virus. It's bad. So, essentially, that to summarize maybe the woke mind virus, it consists of creating very, very divisive identity politics. So it actually amplifies, woke mind virus, in my view, amplifies racism, amplifies, frankly, sexism, and all the isms. And while claiming to do the opposite, it actually divides people and makes them sort of hate each other, and it makes people hate themselves.
Ultimately, will history view him as a reckless instigator or the final survivor in a battle against cultural tyranny? News organizations swiftly characterized Musk as a villain. However, Musk had an alternative perspective. The media doesn't just report the news anymore, they manufacture narratives, he remarked. They tell people what to think and punish those who step out of line. It was no longer solely concerning his individual misfortune. Musk understood the larger context: a society where concepts were monitored, comics faced cancellation, and opposition was eliminated. For Musk, free speech is not a choice, it is fundamental. And he is willing to protect it regardless of the consequences. As soon as you concede to censorship, it's only a matter of time before someone censors you, he cautioned. But what does that truly signify in the current world? Musk believes we are perilously near to forfeiting our freedom of speech, not only on the internet, but also in daily life. His purchase of Twitter, now X, was more than a business transaction. It was a battlefield. As soon as he assumed control, he promised to eliminate the censorship measures that he viewed as instruments of ideological repression. Critics condemned him, labeling it irresponsible. The media depicted him as a wrongdoer, asserting that permitting free speech would unleash an influx of misinformation and hateful discourse. However, Musk stayed resolute. He reinforced his stance, reinstating suspended accounts, revealing the notorious Twitter files, and confronting government-supported censorship initiatives. He criticized major tech companies, alleging they suppress voices that contradict their agenda. Musk stated that censorship is just a tool for those in power to control the narrative. His struggle has created powerful enemies for him. However, Musk is indifferent to criticism. He views himself as the final barrier against a world where language is dictated, regulated, and cleansed. He claims that history will recall those who fought for freedom and those who facilitated oppression. Elon Musk's battle against woke culture extends beyond mere politics. It's concerning heritage. It concerns what lies ahead. It's like a virus infecting people's minds, making them feel virtuous while shutting down meaningful debate, he states. However, the fundamental inquiry is, where does this conclude? Is Musk a champion battling a radical force, or is he merely enhancing division? The fight is no longer solely his. It belongs to us. What's your opinion? Is Musk correct regarding the threats posed by woke culture, or is he exaggerating? Let us know in the comments below.